Hey, what's up guys, it's me again, and today we're gonna look at whether the Sennheiser PXC 550 version 2 is still worth buying, even after more than 6 months since it was first launched. It retails for $350, which is the same regular price as the Sony WH-1000XM3, which I consider to be the best ANC headphones right now. But if there's one reason why some people might choose to go for these instead of the Sonys, is because the XM3s are often criticized for its phone call quality, especially in noisy places. And since Sennheiser makes some of the world's best professional microphones, that could possibly translate into better phone call quality too for their headphones. But of course, you guys are also probably wondering about how different they are in terms of noise cancelling performance and sound quality. So what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna do a series of tests. There's gonna be a sound quality test first, then you guys are gonna hear the difference between them in terms of noise cancelling performance and phone call quality. It says here on the box it's got up to 30 hours of battery life per charge, similar to the Sony's smart pause function and auto on off. This means that when you take the headphones off, it automatically pauses your music, and when you fold the headphones in, it switches the headphones off automatically. It's also got touch controls, supports voice assistance, supports AAC, aptX, and aptX low latency audio codecs, and of course it also supports Bluetooth 5.0 as well. Let's crack into the box, see what it's got. Okay, so it's got a hard carrying case, some literature, fresh out of the box. Okay, let's open it up. Headphones, a 3.5mm to 2.5mm audio cable, an airplane adapter, and a USB Type A to micro USB cable. So the PXC 550 version 2 takes a micro USB port for charging, not USB-C. You've got a label here that says twist ear cup to switch on, and it also shows you that this right touchpad handles volume controls. But in fact, you can also get this touchpad on the right ear cup to do things like music and phone call controls and activating ambient sound pass-through. Also, the right ear cup is where you find your audio input jack, micro USB port for charging, a button for activating voice assistant, a little knob here that lets you toggle between two different levels of noise cancelling, as well as switching your noise cancellation off. It also has a little button hidden behind the yoke arm that lets you switch off the Bluetooth altogether if you decide to simply use a wired connection instead. So basically, everything you need to operate these headphones are located on the right ear cup. So let's take this label off, and this is a great opportunity to test how flexible the headband is. Oh yeah, it's pretty flexible. Very stretchy. The hinges are pretty stiff, but they do articulate pretty well. Overall, I think its build quality is not bad. It does have a pretty premium feel to it, and it also is pretty light, so I bet these are pretty comfortable to wear. Let's put them on. Okay, the ear cups are pretty roomy for my ears. It has a slightly tighter clamping pressure than the Sony WH-1000XM3. The cushions though are quite plush, and that seems to mitigate that a little. Alright, now let's connect this to my phone. I want to try its touch controls. Pause. Play. Skip track. Skip again. Increase volume. Decrease volume. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Transparency mode. Yep, I think it works. Yeah, that was really fast. Very responsive. Okay, transparency mode off. Yeah, so it's very responsive, not bad. Controls are real easy. Now let's test its sound quality. Wow, I gotta say that in some ways, they do sound better than the XM3s. And this is after doing repeated A to B comparisons with the XM3s. If you're somebody who likes to enjoy a bit more detail in your music, these headphones, they are pretty revealing and they will reveal more detail in your music, especially in the mid and upper frequency range. And they do sound cleaner and more transparent in that particular audio spectrum, more so than the XM3s, which compared to the 550 version 2s sounds a bit more muffled in the mid and upper range. And despite sounding a bit brighter than the XM3s, it's got a rather smooth and non-fatiguing sound signature, so it's suitable for long listening sessions. Also, its sound staging is a bit better than that of the XM3s. It's just about as open and just about as airy as the XM3s, but it's got more detail in the soundstage, and details in the soundstage show up a bit brighter against the background compared to the XM3s. But in some ways, the XM3s sound better, as in it's got bass that hits lower, has better extension, impact and gravitas compared to the 550 version 2s. Also, the XM3s are about 20% louder than the 550 version 2. So 50% volume on the XM3s will sound like 70% volume on the 550 version 2. So if you like headphones that sound louder, can give you more of a kick in terms of volume, then the XM3s are more suitable. But still, the PXC 550 version 2s sound amazing in their own special way, of course. Now we're gonna move on to the phone call quality test. As usual, I'm gonna play some really loud cafe-style background noise to simulate having a phone call in a noisy cafe environment, and I'm gonna record a voice memo on my iPhone using these headphones. As a benchmark, I'm gonna compare them to the Sony XM3s. Background noise, PXC 550 version 2s, record. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So in terms of voice microphone quality, the PXC 550 version 2 didn't cancel as much of the background noise as the Sony's, but my voice sounded so much clearer through its microphones, a lot more natural too. So if you often take phone calls or conference calls in a quiet place, then the PXC 550 version 2s might be a little better for that, because you'll end up sounding a little nicer, a little clearer to whoever's on the line with you, right? But if you often take phone calls in noisy places, then the XM3 headphones might be a little better for that due to its slightly superior background noise cancelling. Alright guys, it's now time for the noise cancelling test. As usual, I'm gonna play the same background noise that I played before, and as before, I will be using the Sony XM3s as the benchmark. Wow guys, I gotta say that its noise cancelling performance is pretty good. It cancelled almost as much low frequency noise as the XM3s. In fact, the only area in which the XM3s seemed to do noticeably better at was in cancelling mid and upper frequency noises. And I have a theory about that. I think it's because the XM3s were also slightly better at passively blocking mid and upper frequency noises compared to the 550 version 2s. But overall, I still think that the 550 version 2s did very well at active noise cancellation. So, is the PXC 550 version 2 still worth buying right now over some of the best wireless ENC headphones in the market, like the Sony WH-1000XM3? There are a few reasons why I will pick the 550 version 2 over the XM3. Reason number 1, I think it's a little more simple to use than the XM3s. You've got all the controls, everything on the right ear cup. The buttons, the touchpad is there, and the touchpad as well is so simple to use. You just tap and swipe away. And its touchpad is a little more responsive and a little more intuitive than the XM3's touchpad. So I just feel that overall it's a little more simple to use compared to the XM3. Reason number 2, the PXC 550 version 2 has got multi-point pairing. The XM3s don't. So I can get these to stay connected to 2 different devices at once and play music, answer phone calls on either one of these devices at any given time. Reason number 3, I think I prefer the 550 version 2's sound quality over the XM3s. Yes, the XM3s are so much more capable of bass extension, bass impact than the 550 version 2. But if you look at its overall sound quality, the big picture, so to speak, the 550 version 2s are so much more capable of clarity and detail in the mid and upper frequency range than the XM3s. And this also translates into more detail in the background in the soundstage. And they also sound so smooth, so non-fatiguing, which is why I feel that the 550 version 2 sounds a little more hi-fi than the XM3s. But of course, since the XM3s can deliver deeper bass extension, more bass impact, more gravitas in your music, if you're a bass head, I will recommend the XM3s over the 550 version 2s. And if you're not satisfied with how the XM3s sound, you can always go into the Sony Headphones Connect app. That app has so many different types of EQ presets waiting for you, and it's also got a graphic equalizer too. So you can try your hand at crafting your own personal sound signature for the XM3s. On the other hand, this kind of flexibility that you get from the XM3 headphones is not very possible with the 550 version 2 because it doesn't have a graphic equalizer in the Sennheiser Smart Control app. Yes, it's true that the Smart Control app has a range of EQ presets that you can choose from, and some of them do sound pretty good. And it's also got some options that lets you enhance various facets of its sound signature. But this type of adjustment is nowhere near as granular or as flexible as an actual graphic equalizer like the one the XM3 headphones have. And this lack of flexibility also applies to other areas of the app as well. For example, you cannot adjust or fine-tune how much ambient sound pass-through you want when using transparency mode. And if you want a personalized level of noise cancelling, maybe you feel that the default maximum noise cancelling level is a little too much, you want to dial it down a little, you'll get a grand total of 2 different levels of noise cancelling to choose from within the app. So generous, right? 2 different levels only. Whereas with the Sony Headphones Connect app, you'll get a dial which can move 20 different places. So if you move the dial all the way to the right, it gives you full ambient sound pass-through. If you move it all the way to the left, it gives you full noise cancellation. And there's a lot more flexibility in between because after all, it's 20 different levels, right? So the Sennheiser Smart Control app, not as flexible nor as customizable as the Sony Headphones Connect app, for sure. But I will say this, it is a lot more simplified than the Sony Headphones Connect app. So if you want a more fuss-free, simplified experience, involving less customization, then the Sennheiser Smart Control app will give you a better experience. It's such a pity though, because as of this moment, there are some weird compatibility issues between the 550 version 2s and iPhones running iOS 13.4 and above. So if you open the Sennheiser Smart Control app on these iPhones, it will not be able to detect the 550 version 2s at all, locking these out of any kind of customizability options. But this seems to be a temporary thing, because Sennheiser said in this note that a firmware update might be coming soon for the 550 version 2 that will resolve this issue. But for now, if you need to access any kind of customization options or firmware updates, you have to do it through an Android device. Otherwise, you can still connect them to your iPhones for listening to music, watching videos, making phone calls, and simply enjoying great noise cancellation in general, but of course without the app. So aside from better customizability through the app, there are some other things that I want to see in a future version of the PXC 550, possibly the 550 version 3. Firstly, and this is something that jumped out at me when I was doing the unboxing, I want to see a USB Type-C charging port in the next version, because a USB-C connector is so much more durable, it's reversible, so it's convenient, and it allows for faster charging than a micro USB connector. Perhaps in the year 2018, a micro USB port can still be considered current, I guess, but right now in the year 2020, pretty much everybody is expecting these new headphones and earbuds to have a USB Type-C port. And why is it that the Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless headphones and the MTW2 have a USB Type-C port, but not these headphones? So there's really no excuse. Sennheiser, I hope that in the next version, you can slap a USB Type-C port over here. And number 2, Sennheiser, I hope for a longer headband when it's fully extended, because I really like the idea of, being able to switch the headphones off by turning the ear cups this way, folding the headphones flat. But sometimes when I simply want to leave the headphones on, I feel like the headphones are strangling me, as in the ear cups are not giving me much leeway to turn my head or even look down like this. So if these had a longer headband, it makes it so much more comfortable for me to keep them switched on when I hang them around my neck. So Sennheiser, perhaps you can consider making a longer headband for the next generation of the PXC 550. So that's all I gotta say about the PXC 550 version 2 and how they compare to the Sony WH-1000XM3. But guys, I want to know what you think, so tell me in the comment section below, based on what you've seen in this video, will you buy the PXC 550 version 2 over the Sony WH-1000XM3? So let me know in the comments, and once again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please show that you like this video by punching that like button with a vengeance, Bruce Lee style, and sharing this video with your friends and family. Also, if you'd like to stay tuned for more content, more reviews and comparisons videos from this channel, please subscribe and ring the notifications bell, because this is the only way YouTube will notify you of new content from this channel. And every single week, there'll be at least 2 or 3 videos that I put up, so stay tuned and I'll see you again, bros and sisters. Do swidania. If you're a humble person like me, this shirt is a great way to show your friends how humble you really are. And whenever you look in the mirror, to admire yourself of course, it will also help to remind you to always be humble. So guys, this is a pretty fun shirt to wear. You can check it out in the link below. It's available in t-shirt, tank top and hoodie. Your purchase helps keep this channel going, and I appreciate your support, bros.